Yeah. Gotta get this movie.
People are gonna fucking hate me. I rapped about selling my soul.
Oh man. Yo, my fucking name comes up, my nigga. Jesus fucking Christ. That's a lot of fucking followers. Hey, holy shit.
Hey,
What the fuck?
bitch, who is your best? Ay, can't keep my dick in.
What is the meaning of life? If that's not a question you struggle with, it sure was one for me. Is the whole point of life just to wake up, go to school or work, eat, sleep, and then die at age 70? Are we just animals? Does our life really consist of those things? Or is there a deeper meaning to all of this? I don't know about you, but X really helped me back then. Back then was a hard time because if you listen to X, you were probably in school, you were probably struggling with depression, along with X, and he really gave you something to work with. You understood him, he understood you. And that's what really made you love him. That's what made you grow. Before I get into all the juicy moosey spiritual stuff, I just really want to put respect on X's name, because there's no one like him. No one ever will be, no one ever was. Anyways, let's get into it. X, or Jahseh, had a very horrible childhood. As many of us know that most of our personal issues or traumas stem from our childhood. And his dad went to prison at the age of 10. Basically, living without a father figure is one of the worst things any child can go through. His mom never met his emotional needs, and he even saw his mom get beat in front of him. You could imagine how horrible that is, seeing that as a kid. His whole life has just been mental torture, mental trauma. One thing I find odd is that he was diagnosed with bipolar syndrome at the age of 13. I find it odd that these doctors just slap labels on kids because of certain ways they behave, or just give them drugs for at early ages that just like put the kids to sleep, like Adderall meds, whatever they give. Good thing he didn't take it. Of course, later in his life he was diagnosed with bipolar syndrome again, and he took meds for it, and he just said it made him sleepy and uncreative, so he stopped taking them. And the reason, quote unquote, he got bipolar syndrome is because of his horrible childhood, not being in touch with his feelings and emotions. All these things that kids shouldn't even go through cause these mental symptoms, these mental issues. For the nature versus nurture phenomenon, I start thinking about the Kanye West coffee table discussion. How we're all programmed from a very young age to basically choose certain things in life.
Here's the idea why you're in a simulation. Let's start with acting, first of all. And a 2-year-old screams at a restaurant, the entire restaurant screams. Teach that kid how to act. We're all unpaid actors in some giant script that we didn't write. Simulation, a 2-year-old jumps on a coffee table and someone says, that's a coffee table, don't jump on that. So it went from being something that makes him feel like Superman, he's got his cape on, to something where he has to think about this person's like a family member he doesn't like anyway. He's 2 years old, he doesn't give a about a coffee or a table. And he started to like calculate all these things. And by the time you're 40 years old, you've got a wall full of coffee tables calculating you into traffic, calculating you into your career choice, calculating you into this townhouse that's not quite as big as the townhouse next, and it just never works. You know, that's the simulation that I'm talking.
Kanye was told he could do anything, so he did that. He did everything he could and succeeded. He achieved greatness. For X, he couldn't really express what was going on. He just lived in the moment and did what he did, and it worked out. But it still didn't solve the issue, the core issue that he had in his heart. Music. Music is not only just sounds and vibrations, it's a way we express ourselves. Physically, emotionally, and spiritually, like even especially spiritually. If you don't believe in spirituality, you should just turn off this video and go scroll on some YouTube shorts. Cause like, what are you doing being an X fan and not believing in spirituality? Anyways, one thing we do too much these days is ignore lyrics and just listen to the overall vibe. Not understanding that like the song we're listening to is about someone killing themselves or about murder gang shit. Murder gang.
You're my hero.
And then we wonder why we're depressed the whole day. Like, bro, think about it. X was notorious for his lyrics though. Even if you listen to his first song he made at the age of 14, he's just a genius. Like, listen to Newsflock, please. Lack of purpose leads us to chase the things of this world. Whether it's money, relationships, or God, when we have lack of meaning, it leads us to chase pleasures, because pleasures at least will satisfy us in the moment. Won't give us true joy, but at least will satisfy us momentarily. For Jahseh, his purpose was obviously music, because he was so good at it. And other people appreciated it, because who wouldn't appreciate his work? It's amazing. But even having all that purpose and glory he got from music, it still did not satisfy him. Why is that? What was missing?
I dream so much. I just can't seem to find an answer to what I'm looking for in general. I can't keep living like this. It's breaking my heart, bit by bit. I mean, who's to say you find an answer when living? What if you just die? What if life as we know it is all a game? What if we live for no reason? What if you just disappear when you die? Should I cling to life? Or should I just kill myself? So many contradictions, contemplations. It's getting harder and harder to mask my pain. I can't tell if I want to live or if I want to die. Please, save me.
Save me. Save me from what? This life is full of suffering. Life is basically about suffering. The Bible says, not only so, but we also glory in our sufferings, because we know that suffering produces perseverance, and perseverance character, and character hope. But what hope if we just die and become dirt? Meaning of life. This is where this video might get a bit controversial, because whether you like it or not, there is a God. Because it's the only logical way of explaining the beginning of Earth and the reason for the amazing complexities of this world. But what is God and who is God? Is it the Muslim God, the Christian God, or are we gods like the Hindus and Buddhists believe? Are we all just energies interconnected? And to answer those questions, I have to say that there can only be one true religion, because there can't be multiple gods. It just doesn't make sense for there to be multiple gods. Now, before you click off this video, I do want to say that you have your own choice whether you believe in a God or not. But personally, seeing all the evil in this world, there has to be an evil and a good. There can't just be evil and no good. That just wouldn't be just. That doesn't make sense. Now, the best options is either you believe in a God or you're an atheist. And personally, I just can't fathom the idea of not having a God, because there's so much there's a spiritual realm that people aren't even aware of, that X dabbed into. He even like showed through his music. It's so out in the open if people open their eyes to it. If you go search, you will find it. If you truly open your heart and ask God to reveal himself, I believe he will. Sometimes it's not instant, but you gotta strive and want to find the truth. The reason why I stumble across believing the Bible is because it's so powerful and just the most historically accurate. Even if you don't believe in the Bible, you gain just so much wisdom from reading it. Even X read the Bible many times. So many of his songs are based off the Bible or have so much inspiration from it. One of my favorite songs by X is I Spoke to the Devil in Miami. He said everything would be fine. I want to just quickly dissect the lyrics for you guys and show the real meaning behind it. Show you how much he took from the Bible and This song was a secret message. Let me fill you in. The title, I Spoke to the Devil in Miami and he said everything would be fine, is literal. Miami is where X sold his soul to Satan for fame and fortune when he was 17, hence his album's name. I will now go into my take on the song's lyrical breakdown. One thing to note is that he's telling a chronological story of the conversation he has with Satan. So basically in the intro, he's saying that it'll all be over soon, that he's going to die. And many times in the documentary, if you watched it, he took LSD and he said that demons told him he was going to die, when and how he was going to die. And another thing that's weird is that the producer for Empire, the main guy, X was having a lunch date with him, and just randomly out of nowhere, X tells him that he's not going to live past 21. He also on many Instagram live streams said he's not going to make it, basically. And in even his sad music video, he's portraying his own death.
Brother, sun don't shine, tears don't show one. Hurt me now, cause heart's been broke. I hate myself, but it won't show. I constantly lose all my remorse.
So with this verse, he's just basically saying that he was depressed. Makes sense.
Then it's 10 for the wolf and 3 for the shepherd. And
in this analogy, Satan is the wolf while X is the shepherd. If you aren't familiar with the story, a wolf once stayed by a flock of sheep led by a shepherd for a long time, but never did anything to the sheep. One day, the shepherd left his flock with the wolf, for he trusted the wolf. When the shepherd came back to his flock, they were all dead. Through the wolf's cunning, he deceived the shepherd. Satan deceived X into selling his soul for fame and fortune, but in the end, Satan won. Never make a deal with the devil because he may seem good, but the devil will always get more since he's lying to the person he's going to make the deal with. X got what he wanted, which was fame and glory, but it actually wasn't what he wanted because it didn't solve the problems he has in his head. So the fame and glory didn't really even do much, and the devil got away with his soul. Whether you believe he did sell his soul or not, which I personally think he did, selling your soul can mean many things. Some people think it's just being signed to a horrible contract, but I think it's more literal. You go to some warlock or agent of Satan and you sign some blood contract. On those lines, it's something like that, and you give away your soul for whatever you're getting, fame, money, relationships, etc.
one for the sheep who led by your leopard often gave his perception as a handle of weapon, took a bite of your apple, give me all you can offer.
In this analogy, X is a sheep, while Satan, or one of his demons, is a leopard. Satan uses perception. Satan is the master deceiver to deceive X into taking a bite of his apple or selling his soul in exchange for all Satan could offer X, fame and fortune. Be alert and of sober mind. Your enemy, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion, looking for someone to devour. I feel like I'm gonna be too big. If I don't die before I reach there, man, I'm gonna be too big.
I think and
people are gonna hate me,
I
yo.
honestly completely agree with you, bro.
Yeah, no, people are gonna fucking hate me. Do you hear the shit I make these people's kids repeat?
Yeah.
People are gonna fucking hate me, dog.
Yeah.
I rapped about selling my soul in the song.
Somebody actually asked me that on Twitter. Did you really sell your soul?
I really sell my soul. I sold my soul to
to myself and to my fans. I mean, people look at selling your soul as like selling your soul to the devil. Nah, they look at it like it's selling your soul to the devil. It's really not selling your soul to the devil. It's giving your soul to something. Yeah. So giving a piece of your soul to your career is giving a piece of your energy or your being to something. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So you could sell your soul to sex, nigga. You could sell your soul to a PS4. Like you're gonna meet somebody that's like, oh, you sold your soul to that PS4 or sold your soul to that shit. It's because you're giving all of your soul to it. Yeah. Like just giving all of your being. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So when I say I sold my soul, like I mean when I speak in that song, I'm literally speaking about selling my soul to a demon, ideally. But I'm just gonna say that it's it's foreplay or storytelling. But as far as like selling my soul, I definitely have given a piece of my soul to a lot. Yes.
In this interview, the Marsfell, at the very end of the interview, he talks about how if he sold his soul or not. And basically he says no because he says that like it's foreplay or storytelling. But that still doesn't disprove the fact that he sold his soul or not. We judge people by their actions, and all throughout X's life it's just so clear that he messed around with some type of spiritual force or energy. So many of his songs are so demonic, like even his XXL freestyle.
Hey. And if the world ever has an apocalypse, I will kill all of you fuckers. Fear will be plentiful, death will be bountiful. I will spare none of you peasants. Fuck your religion, your pastor fuck kids and got sent to a prison in PC. I seen the devil, he's in you with me, you need saving and listen to this, see. Follow him home, cut the right corner so nobody sees you. Turn off your phone, leave it at home so nobody can trace you. Mask your expressions, appear to be calm, they won't read your intentions. As soon as you're in, let them all know who they're all in the presence of. I am a murderer, I am a demon, the son of a serpent. What is your faith? What is your worth? Have you felt acknowledged? If I kill you now, will you go to heaven or hell you believe in? Death is approaching you. 30 seconds, think before lying and blood see.
This is really intense because I think he's talking about himself, but also as a demon. He says as soon as you're in, probably referring to a demon that went inside X. It's very wild how X always would refer to heaven or hell. X did his research into many religions. He even says that so many times to research and check out all religions, but he would always refer to the biblical religion. There's power in it, and X knows that. What is your faith? Will you be saved, or will you go to hell?
When people heard that sacrifice shit, they automatically think Illuminati, or like you were trying to. People think of sacrifice in music like, yo, they think of sacrifice.
This is the part where I get ignorant. I don't give a fuck what they talking about with all that. I'm not talking about it, because then we'll go on for centuries and days, and then that conspiracy shit will start. Nah, man. Fuck that, man. I don't want the kids going down that dark path. Fuck that, man. They don't need to be curious towards that shit. That shit don't lead nowhere good, bro. Let those people be those people. If they do exist, if they don't exist, kudos, nigga.
But you're not sacrificing nobody. Just clear that up.
No, bro. I sacrificed my fucking self. I went to jail for months, and we all blew the fuck up. If I ain't go to jail for months, nigga, we would not have blown the fuck up.
That is very true.
It's a fucking fact, paved in stone. I was the sacrifice, nigga.
Again, from another interview, basically confirming that he messed with that crap and doesn't want anyone else to. The demonic stuff is real, and X shows it throughout his whole life. Witchcraft is real, selling your soul is real, and don't mess around with that.
I'll give you credit for this. You're definitely one of the most self-aware artists I know. You know why? Because you've gone through a lot of ups and downs. Like, shoot.
Are we talking about music? Are we talking about music artists? Are we talking about artists, period? Because if we're talking about artists, Jim Carrey is.
No, let's remove even just artists. People.
Jim Carrey.
Before I end this video, because I started going all over the place, I want to end it on Jim Carrey. Because if X's highest and greatest inspiration was him, then Jim Carrey must know something, right?
Jim Carrey, yes. Right. I've covered a lot of fashion weeks. This is the first time I've run in.
I'm doing just fine. I just, there's no meaning to any of this. So I wanted to find the most meaningless thing that I could come to and join, and here I am. And I had to. I believe that I had to become a famous, idea.
Yeah.
And get all the stuff that people dream about, and accomplish a bunch of things that you know, that look like success in order to give up my attachment to those things. It's been a part of the evolution of ego is to spend your first half of your life acquiring and adding, thinking you can add to yourself, and it looks great. I mean, it looks great when you got a cool car and you got nice clothes, and you know, and you've done something that people admire, you know. But I don't exist, so they're all characters that I've played, including Jim Carrey, including Joel Barish, including any of those things. They're all characters. You know, Jim Carrey was a less intentional character,
right?
Because I thought I was just building something that people would like, but it was a character, you know. So it's, you know, I played the guy that was free from concern, so that people who watched me would be free from concern, you know. And then at a certain point, you go like, okay, well, that's great, but you know, it's like the one thing, like people talk about depression all the time. The difference between depression and sadness is just, you know, from happenstance, whatever happened or didn't happen for you, or, you know, grief or whatever it is. And depression is your body saying, fuck you, I don't want to be this character anymore. I'm here to plant a seed today, a seed that will inspire you to move forward in life with enthusiastic hearts and a clear sense of wholeness. The question is, will that seed have a chance to take root? Because life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you. How do I know this? I don't, but I'm making sound, and that's the important thing. Sometimes I think that's the only thing that's important, really, you know? It's just letting each other know we're here, reminding each other that we're part of a larger self. I used to think Jim Carrey is all that I was, just a flickering light, a dancing shadow. Now, fear is going to be a player in your life, but you get to decide how much. You can spend your whole life imagining ghosts, worrying about the pathway to the future, but all there will ever be is what's happening here, and the decisions we make in this moment, which are based in either love or fear. What's yours? How will you serve the world? What do they need that your talent can provide? That's all you have to figure out. As someone who's done what you're about to go and do, I can tell you from experience, the effect you have on others is the most valuable currency there is. Because everything you gain in life will rot and fall apart, and all that will be left of you. And that peace that we're after, lies somewhere beyond personality, beyond the perception of others, beyond invention and disguise, even beyond effort itself. You can join the game, fight the wars, play with form all you want, but to find real peace, you have to let the armor go.
Then and only then does it make sense. In fact, it's when we come to that place of brokenness, where we come to the end of ourselves, where we're crushed under the weight of our own sin, that we're actually able to magnify the Lord. From Thomas à Kempis, The Imitation of Christ. It is there, listen to this, Thomas à Kempis, The Imitation of Christ. It is there you show me to myself what I am, what I have been, and what I am coming to. For I am nothing, and I did not know it. Left to myself, I am nothing but total weakness. But if you look upon me for an instant, I am at once made strong and filled with new joy. Great wonder it is that I, who of my own weight always sink to the depths, am so suddenly lifted up and so graciously embraced by you. Amen. It's when we come to the end of ourselves that we recognize that God is worthy of our worship. It's when we come to the end of ourselves that these expressions have meanings. Listen to this. And can it be that I should gain an interest in the Savior's blood? Died he for me who caused him pain, for me who him to death pursued. Amazing love. How can it be that thou, my God, would die for me? You don't get there without brokenness or this. Crown him with many crowns, the Lamb upon his throne. Hark how the heavenly anthem drowns all music but its own. Awake my soul and sing of him who died for thee, and hail him as thy matchless king throughout eternity. You don't get there without brokenness. Without coming to the end of yourself. Unless and until you come to the end of yourself, the only thing that would satisfy you is, I am a friend of God. He calls me friend. It's man-centeredness. It's ear-tickling. And it's all we get. But when we come to the end of ourselves, it's only then that we see the matchless majesty of Christ. And it's only then in our brokenness that we recognize the answer to our problem. And I'll end with this. Just look at this for me, if you will. Go back to our text. And I want you to look at the verbs here. Verse 1, have mercy, blot out. Verse 2, wash me. Verse 7, purge me, wash me. Verse 8, let me hear. Verse 9, hide your face. Verse 10, create in me. Verse 11, cast me not. Verse 12, restore to me. Verse 14, deliver me. Verse 15, open my lips. In other words, what's happened? David recognizes that everything he needs can only be found in God. But before we come to brokenness, we believe that we can make it happen. Are you right with God? Yes, I prayed a prayer. Are you right with God? Yes, I've rededicated my life. Are you right with God? Yes, I've been having my quiet time. Are you right with God? Yes, I've been I. David says, no. There's no I can't do this. I've seen what I can do. I don't want what I can do. I'm sick of what I can do. I'm broken over what I can do. But I'm not letting go. I'm not giving up, because I've also seen what you can do. I need you to wash me. I need you to cleanse me. I need you to purge me. I need you to restore me. I need you to create in me. I need you to make me whole. I need you to love me. I need you to forgive me. I need you to save me. I need you to wash me. I need you to pick. I need you, God, because in and of myself, all I can do is continue to crumble under the weight of my own blood guiltiness. How is that ever going to happen if we continue to peddle this stuff? How is it ever going to happen when we continue to paint this picture of the sissified Christ who is so empty and weak and needy? How's it going to happen if we are actually communicating to people that brokenness is not of God? It's actually an inappropriate response to sin. You're a Christian. You're beyond that. May it never be. May I never get over the fact that God saved a wretched sinner like me. May I never get over the fact that He allowed me to see another day. May I never get over the fact that He's patient with me, that He's long-suffering with me, and that in me dwells nothing that could satisfy Him. May I never get over being broken over my sin. May I never, ever become complacent. May I never, ever stop realizing the incredible distance between me and my Jesus, because that's the only way I appreciate the distance he traveled to make me his child. Yes, brothers and sisters, brokenness is an appropriate response to sin. It's the only appropriate response to sin. Not to wallow in it. Because the beauty in this picture is he's crushed under the weight of his sin, but God doesn't keep him there. It's only there that he is able to worship rightly. Brokenness is not just for you to feel bad. Brokenness is to get you in the place where you understand the magnitude of God's grace and mercy. And this is what's so sad about what's going on. In the name of grace, people are being robbed of it. Because what grace is there in the God who needs me so badly, yearns for me so desperately? No, I'm the one who just showed grace to him because he was so needy before I came along. You can have that Jesus all day, every day, and twice on Sunday. Give me the one on the white horse.